Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead and share your screen because the live stream has started.
So you can stop the live stream till she is able to share a screen.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, please, can I see my screen?
Yes, okay. You can start it now.
What did you say?
Okay, it's all right. I can see your screen.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, my case topic today is on managing a large project team. And we'll be having key considerations for managing a 200-man strong project. You can see my name there. My name is Peculiar Favor. Okay. So, most of the things we'll be talking about concerning this topic is what is a project, what is project management, what is a project team, why does a project need a team, how to manage a project team, and how to manage a large team of 200 people using RACI. So moving on, what is a project? A project is an undertaking carried out individually or collaboratively, possibly involving research or design. This is carefully planned to achieve a particular aim. It can also be defined as a sequence of tasks that must be completed to attain a certain outcome, according to the project management institution. A term project refers to any temporary endeavors with a definite beginning and end, depending on its complexity. It can be managed by a single person or 100. So this is just saying that a project is like an activity that we undertake, but it has a defined start date and a defined end date. That is what a project is. It's not like your day-to-day task. So 5 characteristics of a clearly defined project. It must be specific. A project must be specific. You must know exactly what it is all about. Then it must be measurable. A clearly defined project must be measurable in terms of its benefits and achievements. That means when you say, okay, you have a project, why are you doing this project, and what do you intend to achieve by doing this project must be there to know that, okay, this is actually a project. Then it must be achievable. A project will only be meaningful if it is achievable. So you cannot say you have a project and it is something that is not doable. It has to be doable. It has to have an aim. It has to be relevant. The project needs to bring relevant benefits to the entity concerned. And it has to be time bound. Like I said before, it has to have a start and an end date. What is project management? Project management is the process of leading the work of a team to achieve all project goals within a given constraint. This information is usually described in project documentation created at the beginning of the development process. The primary constraints are scope, time, and budget. Like I said, this scope is the aim, the objectives, and rest. Then the time, the start date and finish date, and budget, that is cost. But yes, a project will have a cost. Like it will need capital or monetary value to start and finish it. In other words, the purpose of project management is to plan and manage a project to successfully complete its listed goals and deliverables. It involves identifying, managing risk, careful resource management, smart budgeting, and clear communication across multiple teams and stakeholders. The 5 stages of project management. We have the concept initiation stage. This is like the beginning, the first part of the project where the idea is being brought out. Okay, the aims and objectives of this project will be noted to the to either the stakeholders or the sponsors. This stage is where they are mostly involved in. Definition and planning. This is where, like it says, this is where the scope and budget is being brought out, work breakdown, schedules, Gantt charts, communication plan, and risk management is being noted. Launch or execution, project launch or execution. That's when the status and tracking happens, KPIs are laid down, quality and forecast, then performance and control, objectives, quality, delivery, efforts and cost tracking, performance. That's in performance and control. Then the project closing. Every project must have a closing. You cannot just say, okay, because you finish the project, it ends there. There must be a closing where you have proper reports, complete documentation, signing off on bills and the rest. So moving on, we're going to discuss what is a project team. In a project, the project team is defined as an independent collection of individuals who work together towards a common goal and who share responsibility for specific outcomes of their organization. The project team includes the project manager and the group of individuals who work together on a project to achieve its objectives. It consists of the project manager, the project management staffs, and other members who are maybe not directly involved with management or carry out the work related to the project. The team consists of people from different teams with precise subject matter knowledge or with the required skill set to carry out the work of the project. The structure and characteristics of a project team usually vary, but the project manager's role as leader of the team remains constant. So a project team are like a group of individuals that come together to see that this idea is brought to life. They are usually found at the execution stage of the project. So they work hand together with hands to hands with the project manager to ensure that the project is being done according to the project definitions and values. However, the amount and nature of authority the project manager has over the members can differ. Okay, why does the project need a team? Teamwork ensures that resources are well managed and less time is needed to complete a project. Good teamwork can contribute to economizing more successful project outcomes and ultimately higher profits. It also adds to the quality and individuality of projects. Yes, like we say, a tree cannot make a forest. You need more than one tree to make a forest. So teamwork is something like that. You have to have a group of people come together, different skills, to be able to bring that project to life. One person alone cannot bring about the success of a project. So you need a team. So project team members' responsibilities, they contribute to overall project objectives. So every part of the project that needs one skill or the other, they contribute to it. Completing individual deliverables. They provide expertise because when you have a team, there's a brainstorming section where maybe you hit a roadblock while going through that project and you need ideas to know what's next to do or how to solve that issue. Having a team provide their expertise or their knowledge about that thing can help. Working with users to establish and meet business needs, documenting the process. Okay, a project, like I read initially, project team doesn't necessarily really have to be everyone that's working on that particular project. You can, it's also comprises of those that are not even working on that project, but they might have to use it. So users are almost there. You can also consider them as part of the project team because their feedback helps to know, okay, that this project has actually met its goal. Documenting the process, yes, that's also one of the responsibilities of a project team member. How do you organize a project team? You make a project team list. Very important. When you make a project team list, you have your set down roles and responsibilities. So when you're making a project team list, you're bringing in people that, okay, that have the skills you require for that project to move forward by allocating the conventional roles, yes, by giving them their specific roles. You cannot have one person doing multiple things. You need each member to be like accountable for a particular thing they have to do in that project. Assemble the whole thing, identify the stakeholders, and build the chart. How to manage a project team. Managing a project team is a process of tracking team members' performance, providing feedback, resolving issues, and managing team changes to optimize project performance. The key benefits of this process is that it influences team behavior, it manages conflict and resolves issues, and appraises team members' effort. So by managing a project team, you have to ensure balance within the team. You have to ensure visibility and transparency. You have to ensure effective communication. The team needs to understand the objectives, the scope, and the aim of the project. They cannot be working blindly. So you need to ensure that effective communication happens with this team. Foster a culture of collaboration. You need to ensure also that you are able to manage conflicts between them because yes, there will be conflicts, people with different ideas and different opinions, but you need to know how to manage them. Value is suggestion and discuss progress with your team. Establish success metrics and reward excelling members. Yes, the reward approach has proven to be sufficient over time. When you appraise someone for one thing they have done before, there's this encouragement to do even better. So we have establishing success metrics and rewarding excelling members very necessary. How to manage a large team of 200 people. There's a difference between managing a team and managing a large team because now you have more people. There's a difference, but not so much difference. So the first thing is to define a shared goal. You have to consider roles and responsibilities, very important. And these roles and responsibilities need to be communicated very well to the team so that each person knows exactly what they are doing and they don't butt into another person's role or responsibility. Break it down and define the scope. You have to explain it so that they know the aims of this project, what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day. Make life easier by using collaboration tools. Yes, like for Income Dev Center now, we use Slack to communicate with our communication channel. Most times when we have to have meeting, we use Jitsi or we use Zoom like we're doing now. Make things easier for them to communicate. Create a positive team environment. Very important. You have to have a positive team environment. You can't have a team where people are at loggerheads. They need to come together and understand the project goal, and they need to be able to work together. Adapt, then adapt again. Very important. When managing a team, things will constantly change. You need to know how to adapt to that environment. Then bonus tips, reward motivation and progress. Like I said before, reward motivation and progress is very necessary when managing a team. Okay, using the RACI chart. What is RACI? The RACI metrics is a type of responsibility management chart. It helps you to know who is responsible for what. In practice, it is a simple spreadsheet or table that lists all stakeholders on a project and their level of involvement in each task, denoted with the letter RAC or I. Once these roles are defined, assignments can be added to the roles and work can begin. This RACI is very good when you have to manage a large team, because when you have a large team, most times you have more than one person. When you have a large team, you're actually managing a large project. So most times you have you have a person managing more than one role or responsibility, and this chart will help you to keep track of what this person is doing, what each member of the team is doing, and what they're responsible for. So the R in the RACI stands for responsible, the A accountable, C consulted, and I informed. So we need to know who is responsible for certain tasks in the project, who is to be accountable for this task, who is to be consulted, and who is to be informed. So responsible designates the tasks are assigned directly to this person or group of people. Responsible person is the one who does the work to complete the task or create deliverables. Every task should have at least one responsible person and could have several responsible parties. I could have several, sorry. So responsible, you can have more than one person responsible for a particular task, but you need to have you need to have someone that is responsible for a task in the project. Responsible parties are typically on the project team and are usually developers or other creators. Yes, they are the ones that are responsible for bringing projects to life. So responsible parties are usually people that have like a major thing to bring about progress of the project. So accountable persons in the RCI equation delegates and reviews the work involved in a project. Their job is to make sure the responsible person or team knows the expectation of the project and completes work on time. Every task should have only one accountable person and no more. Accountable parties are typically on the project team, usually in leadership or management roles. Yes. For example, when you have a team, you have a team lead. So your team lead is more like an accountable person. So he works with the team, yes, but he's accountable for each task each team member puts onto. So he's the one that will give a review back to the stakeholders to let them know that, oh, fine, this project is working well and things are going just fine. Consulted people provide input and feedback on the work being done in the project. They have a stake in the outcomes of a project because it could affect their current or future work. Project managers and teams should consult these stakeholders ahead of starting a task to get input on their needs, and again, throughout the work at the completion of the task to get feedback on the outcome. Yes, consulted people they are very necessary in the project, especially a big project. There was a certain time when we were handling a project in the civil engineering field, because I actually studied civil engineering. We needed to like hire a company to consult on our behalf because there are certain standards and there are certain requirements for a project, especially a big project, whether legal requirements, mostly legal requirements. So this consultant person needs to also be there because you need to consult these persons for all these actions that could affect the project. And a consulted person needs all the feedback from the work because whatever they do, if the project turns out to be a success, it affects them directly. Then informed folks need to be looped into the progress of a project, but not consulted or overwhelmed with the details of every task. They need to know what's going on because it affects their work, but they are not decision makers of the process. Informed parties are usually outside of the project and often in different departments. It might include head of directors or affected team and senior leaders in the company. So most times, these informed people are like the client or the project sponsors who have to like be they don't necessarily have to be involved in the activities that need to bring about the achievement of something, but they need to be informed because they need to know what is going on. They need to know that okay, this thing is working out fine. So this is an example of what the RCA.
I'm so peculiar.
Yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You have less than a minute already.
Yeah, I'm already
trying to round up. Yeah.
I'm already rounding up. So this is an example of what an ARI chart looks like. You have the executive sponsors, the project, and you have those that are responsible. Like you see in the chart, you see somebody that is responsible and accountable at the same time. So that way, you're able to keep track of everything that every team member is doing. Any questions? So can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for me? No questions.
Hello?
No questions.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Question is this. A part of your presentation, you talked about responsibility. At least a person must be responsible in the team before the project can succeed. So my question is this: what if there's no one that's responsible? How will a project manager handle it? E.g., we are talking about KD. So how do we handle it, the situation as a project manager?
Okay. Being a project manager of a project, that makes you like the number one person responsible for the project. So the reason why we have other people responsible in a team is to reduce the workload on the project manager. Thereby, you have multiple persons responsible for a particular task in the project, but the project manager is more like responsible for everything that concerns the project. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So if a project manager does not have somebody that is responsible for a particular task, the responsibility indirectly falls on that project manager. So for a project, you must always have somebody that is responsible. So in a team, when we talk about responsibility, this is the project manager making somebody or a particular person responsible for a particular task in the project, and not just all the tasks in the project like the project manager is involved in. Sorry, does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you.
I didn't hear you.
Okay. I said thank you.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Okay, I said thank you. You've answered my question.
Oh, okay. Any other question?
Yeah, sorry. Hello. Thank you,
Yes.
Peculiar, for the wonderful presentation. So, okay, is it possible for you to go back to the RCI? I mean, the picture. Can you just? I know they were trying to hurry up that time that you should hurry. Is there any way you can just at least with the whole thing explain the row and the column? Can just link it up a bit so that.
Okay, the RACI chart.
Peculiar.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Tolu, you can stop the live stream. Peculiar, we are out of time already. So no reading, you can reach out to her later. So for more explanation on this. I hope you
All right,
get.
all right. I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Olu, are you here?